Hi folks, it's Teresa from Stringfield Ridge Farm. Today I want to show you a book that I recently won. I won this book from Danny and Wanda at Deep South Homestead a while back. They were doing a giveaway on their live show, and so I won. I think they may have gave a couple of things away that night. It just so happened that I won a book. It's a gardening book. I've seen other people with this book. It's a very good book. So I wanted to show you a little bit about this book because I didn't realize when I first got it how awesome it is. And it is a great book for anyone really, but especially kind of beginners or you know, novice. If you've only been gardening a few years up to maybe 5 years. Me and Lee have gardened for years, but we just threw a few plants in the garden or seeds in the garden until about 2 years ago we really started trying to learn more. We were used to just the basic throw a few plants in the garden, throw a few seeds out there, you know. We didn't really amend our soil a whole lot. We have good soil. We bought a property that had tobacco on it, and then cattle on it, and horses on it, and so it was pretty good rich soil anyway. But we hadn't amended it, and we had gardened on it for 5 or 6 years and hadn't amended the soil any, and some other things that will help you in gardening. And so I got this book in, and it is called Week by Week Vegetable Gardener's Handbook. I'm going to show that again. Now, this book, when I got it in, I kind of glanced through it a little bit. I didn't pay a lot of attention to it because when I got it in was in the late fall, and so I just let it sit there and was going to look at it later. Well, later turned into much later, as we all do. Just wanted to show this too. Danny and Wanda had signed my book. Thanks for joining us on our live streams. Congrats on winning this handbook. It is awesome. Danny and Wanda, Deep South Homestead. So, I finally picked it up about a week ago and started really looking through it and realized that I could have been looking at this all along. This is a week by week, including winter. It has week by week and tells you what you should be doing in the wintertime each week for your garden. So I just wanted to show you this. This is a great book. Now, we had a calendar. Me and Lee had a calendar that we were using as a kind of garden journal. And it was a calendar that we used for 2019. And on each day, we kind of wrote down what we done, what we planted, the weather, and things like that. We'll still do that as far as writing down like the temperatures and the weather to keep up with that. And we got that idea from Danny also at Deep South. So this book has an introduction and getting started and all kinds of neat information that beginning gardeners or young gardeners, tips for anybody. But here you go. Here's what I want to show. This is all the way on page 24. Up to page 24 is just advice on starting gardening and practical tips that anybody would need to know. But then you get into, the first of it starts in late winter. If I'd have looked this book over good, I could have started this book when I got it, because I got it in late fall. And just thinking that gardening's pretty much over with, I didn't really look at it closely. But it actually starts in late winter. And I don't know if you can see that it has your date. You figure out your last frost date, and it tells you what to put here. And it says 20 to 15 weeks before average date of last frost. And our last frost date is actually April 6th, but they have moved that up. I looked up this year, I had looked up a Dave's calendar, and he had moved the frost date up for our area a little bit and had it as March 27th. So my dates are going by that because everything has been earlier. And a lot of people I've talked to, their weather has been earlier, as much as a month earlier. This was about a week earlier, week and a half. So I thought, fine, I'll go with that. Could probably have gone up to as much as 2 weeks earlier because, I mean, our weather has really been, everything has happened early. We are at February 23rd right now. And already buttercups everywhere. Most people call daffodils. Robins in the yard. Everything, signs of spring all over the place at February 23rd. So that's at least a week early, maybe 2. So it goes on to tell. Now I had to go on through the book all the way over because each page has you at the next date, and with all kinds of information in between. And so to get to the current date, I had to go all the way over. I could have already been using this book a while back, because to get to the current date we're at is about here. Let's see. That's, yeah, right here. 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks before the average date of last frost. So I put that down as February 21st. And so we're at the 23rd. So I wrote down what all, it's a 3-year. It's got room for 3 years worth. Over here has room for 3 years to write down. It says year, I put 2020. We have started seeds indoors. Cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, peppers, flowers. And I put on here what I need to be doing that I haven't done yet. Need to start tomatoes, herbs, radishes, ASAP. Next week, plant onions and potatoes. So in our area, we can plant, and going by this, so the next week, that's February 21st. And then it has the whole section of what you should be doing for February 21st. The week of February 21st. It has 4 pages. 4 pages of what you should be doing for the week of February 21st. Then it goes to February 28th. And it has 4 pages of what you should be doing the week of February 28th. So this is just kind of a step-by-step, each week, just what it says, week-by-week vegetable gardener's handbook. So in February 28th, it says plant potatoes, sow your tomatoes. So that's my next step of what we've got to do is get our tomatoes started indoors and plant potatoes and onions. Okay, then so you go on, there's all kinds of great tips in here. There's even a tip here on keeping bugs off of your cabbage. And another thing I really like about this book is when you're reading it, look here. I love that. I hate to have a great big book open. This is spiral. Oops, I dropped it. This is a spiral bound. I can open it all the way up and do that. And I like that about it. Also, it has place for notes all through it. You can keep up with what you've planted and everything. You could put down in here also your temperatures and weather and things like that, and what worked and didn't work. I wouldn't have to have the calendar, but we've been using a calendar for a couple of years now since we heard Danny talk about one. So we've been keeping up with a yearly, just a calendar like you get at the dollar store that has the each day, a square for each day, that kind of calendar that costs $1. We've been using those for a couple of years. We really used it for the whole year in 2019 was our first one. So we've started one for this year. It doesn't have much in it yet. And we will probably continue to do that one as well as this. This is more something I'm going to do because I like to read all of the tips and hints and how-tos in here. And Lee probably won't do that. So I'll have to tell him. I'll read it and tell him what it says is what'll happen. All the way through the whole entire year, even through the winter. So when you get back here, like I said, it had started in late winter. But you get all the way to the back, early winter. Okay, so the last thing in the back is early winter. And that just tells you some what you should be doing for winter, and you know, cleaning and preparing and all that kind of thing. What you might can plant through the winter, composting, storage, food storage, and soil building, extending into winter. Storing food. Food for thought in winter. And it gives you storage ideas. Putting food by. Dry storage. Freezing the harvest. Drying the harvest. Dehydrating. All of that. Okay. It has your frost dates in the back. Like I said, ours is April 8th. I might have said 9th. Ours says April 8th. But I knew that our weather has been earlier. So I looked up for 2020. The one I found, doesn't matter what you look for, just look for frost dates for your location. 2020, put the year on there, and you'll find different ones, and you may find that your frost date is earlier than the average one that you see in books and places. This says April 8th. I looked it up. The one I found was on Dave's calendar or something like that, and it said March 27th, and I thought that's probably more right. So check that out. Let's see, what else we got? We got pages in the back for notes, more notes besides the ones in the front. You have an index. Okay, so it talks about cover crops and explains each one, different cover crops that you can use. It explains each one of when to do it and what it helps and all that. Also, where did I see? Hang on. So, talks about starting seeds indoors. Tells you what kind of lighting to use. And how after you've started the seeds indoors, what to do. And it talks about crop rotation. There we go. It gives you a sample crop rotation. Very neat. I do greatly appreciate Danny and Wanda for all that they've taught us and done for us, and the whole community, what they've done for the whole community. And I really love this book, and appreciate this. And I'm going to show it one more time. I don't know how to pronounce these people's last name, but it's a really good book. I'm not going to say you have to have this book, because there's probably other ones similar, but I'm just telling you this is a really good one. I really appreciate getting it from Danny and Wanda, and I'm going to show it one more time. I've seen this on other channels, so I know several people have this, and I think it's going to really come in handy for me and Lee. There's the names at the bottom. I can't pronounce that last name, so I wanted to show it. So there you go. It's a great book. If you can't find this one, try to find one similar. And I think it would be good for anybody to use, especially if you're not an experienced gardener. I believe any gardener could actually use this handbook to keep track of things, but especially us inexperienced gardeners. Like I said, me and Lee have been gardening for years, but I'm not going to say we done it all right, for sure. We just tilled the ground, threw some seeds out there, a few plants out there, and done the best we could. But as far as amending soil, crop rotation, fertilizing, all that kind of stuff, we didn't even do. And so we were learning more and more all the time, which I think probably everybody is. And I think this book is really going to help us a whole lot. So, so check it out. Look around, see if you can find a book that fits your needs like that you can write in. I like this because it's a handbook that I can write in. Thanks for watching, and give us a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe.